that much effect on making them leave, but waters fell a couple feet, and I don't know. I saw 50 bedding fish today, males, you know, 2-pound bucks, and never saw the first female. I mean, they vanished. They didn't finish, you know. They just they pulled off and are doing something else, and I just couldn't relocate them. I wouldn't change anything. I went and made a long run. I only fished about an hour and a half today because of a barge. Only barge we've had all week, you know, and had it show up on Sunday was surprising because you don't normally have any barge traffic. But you know, I overcompensated a little bit, you know, thinking that they would catch them better than they have. Probably, you know, hindsight's 20/20, and there were the lower parts of the other two pools were a lot more stable. They only filled a little bit this week, you know, and I was fishing probably middle ways of the next pool down, and it, you know, you have a lot bigger fluctuation towards the top ends of the pools than you do on the bottom. They're a lot more stable on the bottom. You know, I probably would have just stayed pool 4 because I think it's probably going to be one on my other fish. You know, but I thought they were going to catch them. I thought, you know, 15, 16 pounds here and maybe 20 plus here, you know, so I went, you know, I fished what I thought was the best. I wouldn't change a thing, honestly. I mean, I fished good this week. I've had a good time. It's just conditions didn't work out, you know.
What were you throwing on those beds?
At first day, I caught them on a jig because I couldn't see them. The water had dirtied up a little bit when it fell, and the wind was blowing like 25. So I just, you know, I had a half-ounce hack attack jig on braid, and so I could, you know, cover a lot of water because the deal was I could tell they were gone. You know, I would fish a place and then come by and they wouldn't be there, the male or the female. You know, because I went to fish it, I had, you know, that I knew exactly where they were. Some of the males were there. I caught males the first day. They were real aggressive. See, I find that when, you know, when they're bedding and the water's still pretty cold, they bite a jig good, you know. Once the water temperature, you know, start staying above 60, I'll go to plastic. But, you know, I just found in the past, you know, they're big ones. And that's kind of what you're trying to do anyway, you know. You try to fish those, you just want to catch the female, you know, not the male. You know, you can care less if he bites or not. So I spent most of my time with the jig, and then the second day, I mean, I've caught them on a zero, a jig, a rodent, you know, I sight fished some, and then you know, and then today, about the same way. I caught them all kinds of ways, but they were all on the beds. I picked me off the limit pretty quick. Well, I made a big loop around through an area, and there were I never saw any females, and so I just caught the next 5 keepers I come by that I saw, you know, I mean, just to catch 5. And then I came back up and fished and I came back up to an area, actually in this pool, where I caught a couple big ones that last day of practice. And
how many fish did you catch in 3 days?
I haven't really caught many, honestly, because like today, after I caught 5, I just looked for better ones. I quit, you know, I went by, I don't know, like I said, 30 or 40 keepers, you know, that wouldn't do me any good. I haven't caught them. I haven't fished long. I figure I fished 8 hours in 3 days, you know, total. So
that was the question I was asking. Everybody else got 24 hours of fishing time.
Yeah, well, that's my fault. Well, I did. I cut myself down on time to, you know, to spend, you know, time in an area that I felt like had better, you know, better potential. But I did lose a lot of fishing time because of it. You know, you don't have any time to adjust. That's the only thing. That water was falling, and I probably needed to wait, you know, not waste a couple hours, but spend a couple hours just trying to. You know, I could never slow down. That was another problem I had. I felt like I stayed in a hurry the whole time because I kept looking for the big ones. I going, trying to figure out where they were, you know.
Was it still a worthwhile gamble, Greg?
Yeah, well, it was. You know, today I felt like I had to do it. You know, I had to have a giant bag, and I knew I couldn't do that up, you know, in these other places. I wouldn't change the thing, I'll be honest with you. I was pretty dialed. I mean, there were some conditions that happened that I couldn't, you know, some variables that I didn't have any control over. I controlled the ones I had, you know, so yeah, I wouldn't change the thing. This will be one class. I made some mistakes in the past. This is not one. You know, I feel good. I fished good this week.
What temperatures did you see this evening, or today, this afternoon?
You know, that's funny. Even though we've had those colder nights, the water stayed about 60. It was 60 this morning when I got to where I was going. It was warm.
How was your water then warm?
It was 65 the first day of the Classic. It was 65. You know, you run far enough south, it warms up.
It makes a difference, right? Water clarity, it was dirty
clear and clear. Yeah, it was the first day that wind kind of had it stirred up, but today, I mean, I could see the bottom at 4 feet.